Voter revolt. A new poll reveals Australians are turning against the government over broken promises.
Terrorism outrage as the masterminds behind the Bali bombings are set free.
3 people killed and scores injured in 2 separate blasts in Mombasa, Kenya.
It's the final countdown to the A-League Grand Final as the Western Sydney Wanderers prepare to battle it out against the Brisbane Roar. Go the Wanderers!
And may the 4th be with you. We are celebrating International Star Wars Day. It is Sunday, the 4th of May, 2014. Most people say, may the 4th be with you on this day.
Or they say this.
International Star Wars Day. Star Wars Day.
Star Wars.
I got a phone call like that yesterday.
Happy Star Wars Day, people!
Yeah.
Gets you fired up in the morning, that anthem, doesn't it?
Does.
It does.
Yeah.
And Sylv and I are in the Star Wars colours, the
Yes.
official Star Wars colours. She's evil. and I'm the-
Obviously.
You be careful today, Sylvia, because you are
I'm on Vader's side.
You're also in the strike zone for my
Yes.
lightsaber.
Whoa!
Do you want to see that in replay?
Someone's going to lose an eye today.
Thankfully, it won't be me.
Is this some sort of pantomime we're doing this? Well, who am I, Chewbacca?
Some sort of thing.
Would you
Do
like
I
to
become
have a play?
Chewbacca or Han Solo?
You won't be able to stop until when you pick this baby up. And we want to
Isn't
know
it-
how you, Tim, are going to celebrate with this mask. And we want to know how you are going to celebrate as well. Get in
Isn't it
contact with us.
cross-generational?
Yeah,
Everyone loves
kids love it.
Lego's into it big.
Yeah, huge. But let us know, Facebook, Twitter and email. Send us your pictures as well. We've already had Judy tweet in with this picture. She's celebrating Star Wars Day by wearing her very favourite T-shirt. Hawks Empire. Love it, getting the AFL theme
Woman
involved
after
too.
my own heart. Good on you. Now,
Morning to you at home. There is growing backlash against Prime Minister Tony Abbott's planned debt tax, which voters are labelling as a broken promise. A new Galaxy poll out today has put support for the Liberal Party at the lowest level this year, just 9 days out from what is promising to be a controversial budget. Nine's political correspondent Charles Croucher joins us live from Canberra this morning. Charles, good morning to you. Have voters lost faith in Tony Abbott? Is that what we're reading from these polls this morning?
Good morning to you, Sylvia. Well, it's probably more of an indication of just how important for the government it is that they get this sales job right on the budget. It's hard to see this as anything but self-inflicted. Labor leader Bill Shorten had been on leave for much of this period in the lead up to the poll, but there is plenty of good news for his party. The latest Galaxy poll, as you mentioned in the News Limited papers, has Labor with a 4.2 party preferred lead, 52 to 48. Now, the biggest bane appears to be that proposed deficit levy, and with this, the government's in a tough spot. The spending cuts that we know are coming, like changes to welfare and the flat fees for GP visits, they all hit hardest at the bottom end of the pay scale. This deficit levy targets the top 2 tax brackets. The Finance Minister yesterday implying this was the way to share the load and share the burden, as the Treasurer has mentioned several times. But there will be some in the middle class who get hit at both ends. These people will be affected by the changes proposed to Family Tax Benefit B, and they'll also be earning in those top 2 tax brackets. Now, the government will spend the next 9 days in the lead up to the budget working as hard as they can to make that group as small as possible, and that will minimise damage in the polls. And these most recent numbers only magnify the importance of Joe Hockey's budget and the importance of the sales job that come after it.
And Charles, on another subject, News Corp is today reporting all 36 Bali bombers who escaped a life sentence are now free from prison following the attacks that killed 92 Australians. How will this affect growing tensions between Indonesia and Canberra?
Well, Sylvia, it was just yesterday that we were discussing the strained relationships between the two countries, and now we have these revelations. All who didn't get life sentences for their involvement in the Bali bombings are now free. 36 Indonesian terrorists in total involved in the 2002 and 2005 attacks, which left 92 Australians dead. From the Australian government's perspective, there's very little that can be done. This is a foreign nation's judicial system, and what's more, the Indonesian ambassador was recalled during the spying scandal last year, so if the government did wish to express their disappointment, that one official channel is removed. But it's certainly tough news and will be a tough day and tough to wake up to for the families and friends of those who died in those tragic attacks. Sylvia?
Right. Charles Croucher in Canberra, thank you. Up to 8 people are feared dead and several more injured after twin bomb blasts rocked the Kenyan city of Mombasa. Andrew Ochieng is a reporter with NTV in Mombasa and he joins us now. Andrew, thank you for your time. Can you talk us through what's happened?
Well, there were two blasts. One was in the center of Mombasa at a place called Ng'ombe Tayari. This is a bus station where there were several buses and there are several taxis. We call them here matatus, which were ferrying people to various destinations. It's actually at a petrol station. So some of the eyewitnesses say that a small saloon car just stopped and the people inside say then threw something at them at another bus which was standing there, which had stopped there. Then there was a loud explosion, and some people just found themselves underneath the vehicles. The explosion was massive. The bus itself was damaged. There were shattered windows. There were other buses as well which had shattered windows. But the confirmation we got was that 3 people were killed on the spot, and one more has succumbed to injuries at the hospital. That is the official confirmation we've had. But of course, there have been reports that more people may have died. The other explosion was at a hotel. It's called the Reef Hotel, but this was at a beach. The witnesses say that somebody suspicious just left a bag in the beach, probably because it had been made out or something.
OK, we'll have to leave it there for now, Andrew. Thank you for the update. We appreciate it. A man is dead after trying to walk across a major highway in Sydney's west. Police say the man was hit by 2 cars on the M4 at Parramatta last night. Several other cars then smashed into the vehicles that had struck the man. He was pronounced dead at the scene. It's not clear why he was crossing the busy highway. A dramatic police pursuit which started on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland has ended north of Brisbane with 2 officers injured and 1 man in custody. The chase lasted nearly 2 hours after police spotted a stolen station wagon near the Sunshine Coast Airport last night. The driver rammed a police car before speeding off. Officers then caught up with the vehicle north of Brisbane, but the driver rammed police again, causing a wagon to roll onto its roof.
These offenders driving the stolen vehicles showed total disregard for human lives, and they were quite prepared to ram a police vehicle to escape custody. And they continued on after they rammed the police car and for another couple of kilometres.
The vehicle finally crashed into a gutter and 2 men attempted to flee the scene. Police arrested the passenger, but the driver escaped. 1 officer has been treated for a broken hand while another sustained minor injuries. Ukraine's interim president has declared 2 days of mourning after 50 lives were lost during the bloodiest days of the country's recent crisis. The US is calling for restraint as violence continues in the flashpoint town of Sloviansk, where Ukrainian soldiers and pro-Russian rebels have clashed in rolling battles. Russia says it would now be absurd for the country to hold a planned election later this month. 12 European military observers held by pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine for more than a week have been freed overnight. The head of their mission says they have shown strength to withstand more than a week in captivity. And finally, we might be feeling a little chill in Australia this weekend, but in the UK, the sun was shining when a group of students and military personnel set a new record for the largest human flower, because it is a coveted record to hold. More than 2,000 people participated in the event just outside London in commemoration of the...
They just don't make heroes like this anymore. Han Solo taking on a bunch of stormtroopers there. That was episode 4, of
Harrison
course, as you know.
Ford.
A
How
New Hope.
good was he? He's
Fantastic.
coming back for more with a remake. Extraordinary.
I know. He's indefatigable.
Or something like that. May the 4th be with you, everyone. Happy Star Wars Day. Let's get a check of our weekend weather now with Ems Friedman, who's in a gorgeous part of the world this morning. We are so jealous, Ems.
And you should be, because it is magnificent. I tell you that what much Cam and go and see what's happening at your place on this Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning. If you are in Cairns, it is looking like a fine day up north, a top of 27 degrees. On Hamilton Island, fine with southerlies blowing. Temperatures in the low 20s for Mount Isa, Longreach, Gladstone and Bundaberg. Sunny conditions there, and mostly fine in Toowoomba and in Coolangatta. If you are in New South Wales, that vigorous cold front is causing some chaos. As I mentioned, snow falling in various areas in Grafton, though mostly clear, 21 degrees, 15 and rain clearing in Tamworth. In Newcastle, morning rain, wind easing, 20 the top. It is cold in Orange with morning rain and only a top of 7 degrees, 13 and partly cloudy in Wagga, and early rain and then a mostly sunny day in Wollongong. If you are in Victoria, Mildura becoming cloudy, 16 the top, and 14 degrees with the possibility of a shower in Bendigo. And down at the Bull, a couple of showers and a top of 15 degrees. Moving into Tassie, Launceston, partly cloudy, 16, 14 degrees and a couple of showers in Strawn, though. If you are in South Australia, Mount Gambier, late showers, 16 the top, 20 degrees and morning showers in Ceduna. And in Coober Pedy today, wet weather is expected to clear with a top of 19 degrees. Into our west, Albany showers, 20 the top, 19 degrees and cloudy in Kalgoorlie. Showers clearing in Geraldton, looking like a partly cloudy day in Karratha with a top of 31 degrees. A forecast high of 32 if you are in Port Hedland with mostly sunny skies. And moving into the Northern Territory, Yulara, mostly sunny, 22, 32 degrees and early storms clearing in Darwin. In the Alice, it's looking like a mostly sunny day as well, a top of 20, and it will be drier than yesterday in Katherine with a forecast high of 33 degrees. Well, the Larapinta Trail is one of the 7 best walking trails that you can do across the country, but one of the 20 best right across the globe. It goes for 223 kilometres, and there's about 12 stages. You can either do a 6-day walk, which will give you all of the highlights, or a 14-day walk, which shows you everything that this magnificent area has to offer.
Time now to check out what's on the front pages around the country. And free to terrorise. Melbourne's Sunday Herald Sun reports that 36 of the Indonesian terrorists sentenced over the Bali bombings, which killed 92 Australians, have been freed.
Ridiculously light punishment for them. Stop the votes. Brisbane's Sunday Mail says a new poll shows that if an election was held today, Tony Abbott would lose office.
Axe debt tax. Sydney's Sunday Telegraph reveals that people are angry over the idea of a deficit tax, which would break an election promise.
Car torched in crime spree. There's Sunday Territorian claiming police are on the hunt for a man who torched a Hilux ute after assaulting 3 women in Darwin's CBD.
Gloombusters. Adelaide's Sunday Mail looks at the powerhouse of South Australian businesses set to boost the state's prosperity.
And Tassie's best neighbours just keep on giving. Hobart Sunday Tasmanian would like you to meet Michael Jeffrey and Kirsten Saunders, who helped save their neighbours from last year's bushfires.
Lovely story.